aside from what I say or anyone else says or what you look up online from sources, think for yourself. How can we have the kind of weather whiplash we're having from 80 degrees to snow and back up to 80 degrees? And when you touch your car now, even with the ambient temperature being not so warm, how hot is the surface of that car? And look at the tree bark. Look around town. Look at the south-facing sides of the trees. In so many cases, the bark is completely cooked off the tree. And the radiant sun feels very hot because it is, because climate engineering is destroying the protective layers of the atmosphere. And for all those who, again, buy into the fact that the proverbial they wouldn't do this to themselves, I've given week after week, example after example of what they, the central bankers who control everything, do to themselves. Why? Because they're not sane. They're not sane, and you can never cure their lust for power. It can't be cured. It makes them psychopathic. This is a literal clinical condition. So, again, between nuclear power plants, nuclear weapons, depleted uranium ammunition, the detonation of nuclear bombs, I've gone over this again and again. So if you talk yourself out of looking at the truth and convince yourself there's nothing going on because they wouldn't do this to themselves, you're not looking at reality. Earth's oxygen content is plummeting because the trees are also dying as well. We've already lost 55% of Earth's trees. So again, for those that think that this paradigm is going to keep going along, think again. We're about to hit the wall. If you don't believe me, you will. So 10,000 tons of dead sardines. If you don't believe me, look that up. Another headline, thousands of dead swordfish cover Lopes Mendes Beach, Brazil. From that report, states 5 days ago, the Lopes Mendes Beach is considered the second most beautiful beach in Brazil. And the 2016, April 11th is when this actually occurred. It was covered by thousands. So we're way up the food chain now. Swordfish is at the top of the food chain in the ocean. So we are seeing the entire ecosystem collapse. You won't be eating fish much longer, and you shouldn't be eating it now because it's all toxic, either from the radiation in the Pacific or the oil spill and the oil spill dispersant corrects it that's scattered everywhere there. So you shouldn't be eating fish anyway, but you're not going to have the option much longer, no matter what. Now, more headlines, non-environmental headlines. Mobs of angry investors fight market rigging. Deutsche Bank in class action lawsuit. Other banks next. The whole system is corrupt. The whole entire system. Government, finance, everything. A giant cancer. Why? Because of the types of traits Mr. Twain mentioned in the quotes that I just went over. A giant cancer. Another headline. The bad smell hovering over the global economy. Report states attempts at economic stimulus have left a bad smell. Central banks are starting to think the unthinkable. Helicopter money.
At its core, something mysterious is happening. Swirling currents of molten metal are creating a magnetic field that envelops the planet. We depend